Good afternoon guys, and welcome back to another episode of Nick's Veggie Patch. Haven't done one for a while, so I'm going to be giving you an update of what's been happening down here in my garden on Nick's Veggie Patch. Things that I've got growing in the greenhouse that I've sown, ready to put out for an early to late autumn harvest. And I'm also going to be telling you guys what things you can still sow in August, as it's the 1st of August today. Things you can still sow to get a late autumn harvest or an early spring harvest. I'm also going to be getting some potatoes in. So yeah, there's a few bits and pieces that I'm going to be doing today, and I'll come back to you guys in a bit. Okay guys, so one of the things that I'm going to be sowing today is two varieties of seed potatoes, and these are good for a late autumn sort of harvest. So plant these now in between July and September, and you should get a harvest November onwards. And if you're very lucky, you should get some potatoes for Christmas. So yes, always nice to have a harvest for Christmas, especially if you want roast potatoes for your Christmas dinner. I've done it a couple of times before, had some nice potatoes for Christmas, and I'm going to do that again. So the first variety that I've got that I'm going to be planting into some pots is Maris Piper's seed potatoes. I got these from a local garden centre, and these have got 8 seed potatoes in them. It normally tells you how many on the pack. Sometimes there may be more than what it actually states in the pack, so it doesn't matter, you pay for what you're buying. But these are a classic chip shop potato. These are what you will mainly find when you go to the chip shop. They use Maris Piper potatoes. It's because of I think it's because of their starch content, and they make a really good chip. So these can be planted July through to September, and you'll get a harvest of November onwards. What I would say personally is get them in between July and August, because obviously towards the end of August the weather starts to come down from extreme heat to coolness. So you could plant them into September, but it all depends where you are, what your zone is, and how early you start to still feel things getting chilly. So where I am, I'm in zone 8. So for frosts, they normally start around about October time, and I normally get my last frosts normally the first week of May. So yeah, I'm going to be putting out Maris Piper, and then in the other pot I'm going to be doing Desiree seed potatoes, a very popular red potato. Again, plant July to September, and you can harvest November onwards. So what I'll do is I'll get these planted out, and then when the nights start drawing in, these will eventually go into my greenhouse to keep warm, to stay warmer, and then hopefully come November, Christmas time, I'll have 2 lovely lots of potatoes, hopefully, fingers crossed, Maris Piper and Desiree. So I've got the containers ready that they're going to go in. They've already got the compost in, so I'm going to get these out. I'll check if they're seeded, if they chitted, sorry. Always make sure your potatoes have got chits on them. And what you want to do is you want to, so whatever end has got the sort of tallest chip, that's the end you want to plant upwards, so it comes up to the soil. Get your compost in, cover them over, and then as they gradually start to come out, keep filling the compost until literally you're pretty much going right up to the top of your planter or whatever you're planting them in. Give them a good water, make sure they are watered, and then hopefully you'll get a lovely lot of potatoes. So I'm going to take these to the tubs, get them sort of ready and evened out, and then I'll get the potatoes in and I'll come back and I'll show you what they look like in a minute, guys. Okay guys, so just before I put the seed potatoes in, I'm going to give compost a good watering. Make sure it's nice and moist before you put your seed potatoes in. And then here I've got about 8 seed potatoes. So as I said, the side with the most chits, put them in first. So basically go into the soil, go so far down, about 3 centimeters or so down, and then cover over with the compost. And then hopefully this should give you a lovely late autumn sort of Christmas harvest. I'm going to do about 3 in here, then and then 3 or 4 in here, and then the rest in another tub. Covered over. As I say, I've counted these, so there's definitely 8 seed potatoes in there. So I think I'll put one in the middle. In actual fact, no, I've miscounted. So I have got my 4 seed potatoes in there, and then I will do another tub with some more, with the remaining seed potatoes in, but I'm going to get those covered over with soil, and then I'll come back to you guys in a minute. Right guys, as the Desiree here have got quite a lot of chits on, I'm going to put the ones at the top that have got the most on, plant them up like that, and then hopefully I'll get a lot of nice Desiree red potatoes. So got the next sort of 2 containers ready that are going to take my potatoes, Desiree ones. I say again, I'll do 4 in each, and then just cover them over in a minute with a bit more soil, compost soil. But yeah, that one's got a lovely big fat chit at the top there, so I'm going to place him sort of kind of flat, get him covered over, and then get another 2 in this container. Again, just look for where the most chits are, or the strongest looking chits on the potato. Get them in. Obviously, and plant it over. Got to remember where I put them, because otherwise I'm going to yank them out, and I don't want that to happen. Spacing up didn't go very well there. Again. So then what I will do is, that's nice moist compost, and I'll get a bit more of that just to go on top of the moist stuff. This compost was from Lidl's. They do a really cheap version, and if you're going to use it as compost, what I would say is just sift it first, sift it and then kind of use it. I'm not sifting it because this is just going into a container and I'm breaking it up. So that's the first one done for the zero, and I will get that covered over with the label. I'll finish the other one off and then I'll come back to you in a minute. There we have it, guys, the Desiree and the Maris Piper all potted on. Okay guys, so there's going to be an exciting, what I call an exciting project happening on Nick's Veggie Patch. If you remember, we built a temporary fence or cage around our new raised bed that the wife built, and we've decided now we're going to change that, and we're going to put, I've seen a few videos from YouTubers on YouTube where people have made a fence using plastic PVC piping. So that's what we're going to do. So as you can see, I've got the camera, it's pointing at the PVC piping. Now this is piping you would normally use for plumbing in your house. This is 2 meters, so this will give us extra of what we need for when we build it. And then to connect it together, I've got these three-way connectors, elbows, they're called three-way elbows, so I can go long ways, short ways, and then up. And then I've got also these straight connectors that will connect the pipe going long ways, and if we have to cut any off, that will obviously help us join it all together. So eventually what will be happening, and I'll take the camera and just show you, just move you about. As you can see in front there, guys, we've got temporary sort of netting around the raised bed that my wife built this year, and it's a wire mesh. So what we'll do is we'll make the PVC fence up using the wire mesh. So we'll connect the tubes together, then when we get a side that goes long ways, I'll join the mesh using plastic tie-backs. They're tie clips. They will join them together, hold it in place. We're only going to go literally so far from the actual slabs themselves that we lay down, the concrete breeze blocks. So what we'll do is we'll go so far up and then join them all together. We'll go all the way along, but what we'll probably do is create 2 doors either side that we can just easily get into, that connect to the PVC, and they're easily open and shut. So yeah, so at some point where all this mesh is kind of joined together with bamboo canes, we'll remove that. We'll make a PVC structure up connecting the mesh to it, and hopefully that will be taller and it will stop my cats and anything else from getting inside.